If I asked you right now, which class are you in? Lower class, middle class, or upper class? Most people would answer based on how they feel. They look at their paycheck, they look at the apartment they live in, they look at the car they drive, they look at their job, their clothes, their phone, the restaurants they go to, the vacations they take, and they think, I'm probably middle class. But here's the problem. Your real financial class is not measured by how you feel. It is not measured by your salary. It is not measured by the car sitting in your driveway. And it is not measured by how successful you look to other people. It is measured by one number, your net worth. And when many people finally sit down and calculate that number, they discover something very uncomfortable. They are not as wealthy as they thought. In fact, many people with good incomes are still poorer than most people realize. Before we go any further, you need to understand one thing clearly. Income is not wealth. A high salary does not mean you are rich, and looking successful does not mean you are actually building wealth. Net worth is very simple. It is everything you own minus everything you owe. Your assets can include your savings, your retirement accounts, your stocks, your index funds, your home, your car, rental properties, or even a valuable business. But your debt includes the car loan, credit card balances, student loans, a mortgage, monthly payment plans, and any money you still have to pay back in the future. So the formula is simple. Net worth equals assets minus liabilities. But this simple formula reveals a truth many people do not want to see. You can make $80,000 a year and still have almost no real wealth. Because if you have a car payment, student loans, credit card debt, no investments, and very little savings, your net worth can still be extremely low. It can even be negative. And that is why some people look perfectly fine on the outside, but financially, they are standing on very weak ground. They do not have an income problem, they have an asset problem. Now, let's look at Tyler. Tyler is 34 years old. He works as a marketing manager. He earns $85,000 a year. After taxes, he brings home about $5,200 a month. He rents a pretty decent apartment. He drives a newer sedan. He has a professional office job. And he contributes a little bit to his 401k. If you met Tyler in real life, you would probably think, this guy is middle class. And Tyler thinks the same thing. But now, let's run the real numbers. On the asset side, Tyler has a car worth about $22,000. He has $12,000 in his 401k, and he has $3,000 in savings. That gives him total assets of $37,000. And at first, that does not sound terrible. But now look at the debt side. Tyler still owes $18,000 on the car, and he still has $26,000 in student loans. That gives him total debt of $44,000. So now we take $37,000 in assets and subtract $44,000 in debt. The result is negative $7,000. Tyler does not have a positive net worth. He has a negative net worth. And this is the shock. A man earning $85,000 a year with a good job, a nice car, and a stable-looking life is sitting at negative $7,000 in net worth. Tyler is not a rare case. A lot of people are living exactly like Tyler. Their income looks middle class, but their net worth tells a very different story. Money comes into the account every month. Then money goes right back out. Rent, insurance, food, shopping, monthly payments. And by the end of it, the lifestyle looks fine, but the actual wealth barely grows. This is the first trap. You can earn a comfortable life without actually building wealth. Now, let's place Tyler on the wealth ladder. The bottom 25% includes households with a net worth below about $23,000. And Tyler, with a net worth of negative $7,000, is sitting inside that group. But here is the part most people misunderstand. This group is not only made up of people who are unemployed. It is not only made up of people earning minimum wage. It also includes plenty of people making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, or even more. They have income, but they have not built assets yet. After the bottom 25% comes the lower middle class. This range is roughly $23,000 to $179,000 in net worth. For Tyler to enter this bracket, he has to move from negative $7,000 to at least positive $23,000. That means he needs to improve his net worth by about $30,000. And there are only a few ways to do that. He can pay down debt, he can increase his savings, he can invest consistently, or he can do all three at the same time. Then comes the median, around $193,000 in net worth. This is the middle point. Half of households have more than this number, and half have less. But even at the median, many people are still not truly secure, because a large part of their net worth may be trapped inside their home. Home equity looks good on paper, but you cannot use home equity to buy groceries. You cannot instantly use it to cover an emergency bill. To access it, you usually have to sell the house or borrow against it. Then comes the upper middle class, from around $193,000 to $610,000 in net worth. And this is where things start to change. At the lower levels, most wealth is usually tied to a home. But at this level, people start building real investments. Their retirement accounts get larger, their stock portfolios get larger, their savings get stronger, their assets become more diversified, and once investment assets become large enough, compound growth starts doing more of the work. After that comes the upper class, from around $610,000 to $1.72 million. This is the top 25%. At this level, investments often become more important than the house. Wealth is no longer just sitting in home equity. It is sitting in stocks, retirement accounts, index funds, rental properties, or businesses. And finally, there is the top 10%. That begins at roughly $1.72 million in net worth. At this level, money starts working harder than people do. A portfolio of $1.72 million, earning just 4% a year, can generate about $69,000 in passive income. Without selling the original assets, just the money produced by the assets can be more than the income of many households. And that is the difference between having an income and having wealth. But there is one very important thing you need to understand. You cannot compare a 25-year-old and a 65-year-old using the exact same measuring stick, because the same net worth can mean two completely different things, depending on your age. A 28-year-old with a net worth of $150,000 may be doing extremely well, but a 55-year-old with that same $150,000 may actually be falling behind. Why? Because age changes everything. A younger person still has decades for compound growth to work. They have more time to invest, more time to recover from mistakes, more time to increase income, and more time for their assets to grow. But an older person has less time to fix bad decisions, less time to let investments compound, and less time to rebuild if they are far behind. That is why age-adjusted benchmarks matter so much. According to the original data, the median net worth for households under 35 is about $39,000. For ages 35 to 44, it rises to about $136,000. For ages 45 to 54, it rises again to about $247,000. For ages 55 to 64, it reaches about $365,000. And for ages 65 to 74, it peaks at around $410,000. Now let's go back to Tyler. Tyler is 34 years old. His net worth is negative $7,000. Compared to the overall population, he is already in the bottom 25%. But compared to people his own age, the picture is even worse. The median net worth for people under 35 is around $39,000. Tyler is not just below the median, he is about $46,000 below it, just to reach the middle point for his age group. And if he wants to be financially comfortable, he has to go much further than that. This reveals a very important truth. A number never stands alone. You have to place that number in the right context. How old are you? How many years do you still have to invest? Are you carrying debt? Do you own assets that can grow? Or do you only own things that lose value over time? Are you actually moving upward? Or are you just standing still while time passes? Because the exact same net worth at two different ages can tell two completely different financial stories. Now, the big question is, can Tyler change? And the answer is yes. But his outcome depends entirely on the path he chooses. Path number 1. Tyler changes nothing. He keeps making minimum payments on his student loans. He keeps making the car payment. He keeps contributing very little to his 401k. And he keeps spending almost everything left over every month. From the outside, his life still looks fine. He still has the job. He still has the apartment. He still has the car. He still looks like a normal middle-class adult. But underneath the surface, his net worth is growing painfully slowly. After 20 years, when Tyler is around 54 years old, he might have a net worth of only about $120,000. And yes, that sounds much better than negative $7,000. But here is the problem. By that age, the median net worth for people in their late 50s and early 60s is around $365,000. So after 20 years of working, Tyler would still be far behind. That is the cost of standing still. Now look at path number 2. Tyler gets intentional. He looks at his spending, cuts unnecessary expenses, and frees up $700 a month. $400 goes toward extra student loan payments. $300 goes into investing, or into his 401k. After a few years, his student loans are gone. But here is the important part. When that debt disappears, Tyler does not use the extra money to upgrade his lifestyle. He does not buy a more expensive car. He does not move into a luxury apartment. He does not let lifestyle creep steal the progress. Instead, he redirects that money into investments. Now, Tyler is investing about $700 a month. And if he later buys a modest home, builds home equity, and keeps investing consistently, then by age 54, he could reach roughly $500,000 in net worth, from negative $7,000 to $500,000. No lottery ticket, no inheritance, no lucky break, just a different decision about where his money goes every month. Now look at path number 3. Tyler gets even more aggressive. He does not only cut expenses, he increases his income, he learns new skills, he switches to a better paying job, he builds a side project. And within a few years, his income rises from $85,000 to $110,000 a year. But the key is this: Tyler does not increase his lifestyle just because his income increases. He keeps living close to his old budget, and the extra money goes toward paying off debt faster and investing harder. After the debt is gone, he invests about $1,500 a month. He could also use a strategy like house hacking. For example, he buys a duplex, lives in one unit, and rents out the other. That helps lower his housing cost while building real estate equity at the same time. After 20 years, Tyler could have around $700,000 in his investment portfolio, plus another $300,000 in real estate equity. Total net worth around $1 million. From negative $7,000 to $1 million. Same person, same starting point, same original salary, but 3 different paths. Create 3 completely different financial lives. And that is the real lesson. Your starting point matters, but your direction matters more. So in the end, which class are you really in? The answer is not found in the car you drive. It is not found in the salary written on your contract. And it is not found in how successful you look to other people. The answer is found in your net worth. How much do you own? How much do you owe? And after everything is subtracted, what do you actually have left? If that number is lower than you expected, that does not mean you failed. It means you finally have the truth. And the truth is always better than a beautiful illusion, because the wealth ladder is not fixed. People move up every single day. Not by hoping, not by guessing, but by calculating the real number, paying down debt, building assets, investing consistently, and letting time do the rest. You do not need to pretend you are wealthy. You need to know exactly where you stand, because only when you know where you are can you finally start climbing.